Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into another video. I know I haven't been doing videos for a while now, but I'm gonna get back on the horse now, and I'm gonna try to put as many videos out there as possible. And my main goal right now is to try to help you guys as much as possible. So the first theme that I want to talk about, it's this one that has been asked to me plenty of times, how to do loadouts, and how to do good loadouts for every champion, every talent, etc, etc. As of right now, we got 48 different champions, so there's a lot of loadouts to create. So let me help you. The first way, and the most simple way, this doesn't require you to do anything like extra, but you can do it within the game. You can actually import loadouts if you have, like, for example, let's say you have a favorite streamer that it's a one-trick mave, or maybe a pro player who plays a lot of flanks and he has very good loadouts for his own characters. You can just go import. Usually you can import by your friends, so if you have friends who already play a specific character, you can just search it by friends and then go on the list and import it there. Or you can go by name and you gotta put the name of the character specifically, the player specifically. So the pro player, the streamer, whatever, try to check out their names and try to import it. If you try to import it from me, it's not gonna work because my profile is private. So that's an example. If a profile is private, it doesn't allow people to import loadouts or try to get data on their characters, win rates, and etc, or even match histories and so on, right? So if it gives you an error when you try to import it by that person, that's just completely normal. But this one is like kind of rudimentary because you're kind of, you're going for streamers and they have their own specific style of play with those characters. You got pro players, they play scrims, so their loadouts are already set up for having a team, a composition, so on. So it's not going to be that easy. And I mean, the next thing you can do still in game, which is pretty simple, is in case you go against somebody who's playing really well. Let's say, for example, here on this match where I played Tiberius, there was a person on the enemy team that also did pretty well, which was that Drogos over there, right? And I want to load out for the Drogos as well for myself. I don't have a good loadout to imagine. So what you can do is go in the match history. You can do this in the end of the match as well. You don't have to go into history, but it's just as simple as that. You come in here, you check the loadout, try to understand it. Don't just literally copy it, because again, there's specific play styles for everybody, right? For me, for example, this loadout wouldn't work because this loadout seems like it's for Fusillade more than it is for Combustible. But even then, if it worked for him, it could have worked for you, so try it out, and if it doesn't work out, just try a new one, and so on, until you see the ones that are the best for you. Eventually, you're gonna get to a point where you're just gonna be able to create your own specific loadouts. You may or may not, find good stuff. Like, for example, here in this case, I got this one for Combustible, where I got extra distance, extra HP, so I survive a little bit longer because Drogos has a lot of counters nowadays. And I got this card here. But this is not a loadout that I'm saying copy it from me. What I'm saying is this loadout is good for me. It may or may not be good for you. So the next best thing out of all of this, out of trying to import loadouts or trying to copy by enemies you went against, it's this. Go into this website called paladinsdex.com. In this website, the community inputs basically loadouts, and those loadouts then get voted. Sometimes you can even put them as a guide. For example, this one here, it was inputted recently for patch 4.3, which is the current one. That's why it's green. If it's red, it's outdated. But he put it out, this loadout, and a lot of people saw it. 10,000 people saw it, so you can see a lot of people use this website. If you didn't know about it, you know now. So it has a lot of votes. You press on that, and you see the guide, because you saw that little thing saying in the front, guide. That's to let you know that it's not just a loadout. See there? Guide. It has a detailed strategy, let's say, like that. So you can just come in here, read this out, and try to understand. It will tell you sometimes what are the best items to go with this loadout. What are the best way to execute with this loadout, because sometimes, like, there's a little bit of issues, and I could go on and just explain to you what issues there are, but it would be too much waste of time. I'm really here just trying to help you get those loadouts set up. So there you go. This is the place where you need to go. The best way to do this is, if you're looking for specific loadouts, you go into Decks. Forget the champions part, and I'll explain why. Just go into Decks. then you'll have a little board up here and you select the character you want for. Because if you go for champions, it's literally just gonna show you like the top 5 loadouts of that champion, right? If you come in here, it will also do the same thing, sort of, but in a different way, because it already shows you more than just the top 5. It shows you the latest ones from the latest patch. You can also go to previous patches in case there's not a good loadout or there's not enough loadouts for this new patch. So for example, let's go here for Maeve. I press on Maeve, you go in here and you see here more than just 5. See, if you press for the character specifically, then you're only gonna have 5. You gotta press a button to show more loadouts. You end up here. So there's no need to go to the champions. Just come in here into the decks. You can also filter it by talent specifically. There will be sometimes the talents have wrong images. I think that happens, for example, when Droxus with one of his talents, or Drogo's, something like that. Doesn't really matter. You'll just can hover. Yeah, it's Drogo's. So it has the Fusillade instead of Fusillade. It actually has the Godslayer from Adroxus. But you can just put the mouse on top and you'll see what the talent is, the name, what it does, and so on. Then you don't even need to open it, the loadout specifically. You can see here the numbers and the images, just like you would see on the loadouts on the game. So there you go. And then you just see which talent it is, you go in game and you create it. It's that simple, pretty good, right? So there you go. You can also go by all, and then it will tell you specifically which patch is it from. OB65, I mean, this one is pretty damn old. It doesn't even have numbers anymore because these cards are outdated. So yeah, might as well just try to go for the most current one, and if that doesn't work, just go for the last one, because sometimes, you know, there's not a change between patches for this specific champion, so there's not going to be anything good there for you. So you just go into the previous one, like this, for example. This one, some of these are still pretty good for you to use, okay? And just to finalize this video, this is not about loadouts. This is a little bit different. There is a website called Paladins Counter. This is actually owned by a friend of mine. His name is Manuel. He hasn't been active a lot, but he still has his website up and running. And on this website, basically people also will come and create their own tips. As if, imagine in this case, you're playing as Yagarath versus Tyra. And then it will have the tip, and then people will vote for it. You can also go specifically to a champion, and it will tell you specifically specific matchups, like Xin versus Andrew or something like that, or Xin versus, or you versus Xin. You can also have not just on the champion versus others, but others versus this champion specifically. As you can see here, you can open even more all tips. It will tell you the best items to go against this champion. It will tell you the weakest champions against Xin and the strongest champions against Xin, for example, and then you can just go lower and lower and see. People will vote. As you can see here, for example, Xin is strong against Androxus. 223 people voted for this, so you can sort of see, okay, some people as Androxus already went against Xin, and then didn't find it that easy to fight him, so there you go. Xin is weak against a Torvald because, you know, he can silence him and there's shields and he has too much to destroy on Torvald to be successfully 1v1ing the Torvald. So there you go. You see, this is actually pretty good. It's nothing to do with loadouts, but it can help you a little bit. It also has a little bit of the categories where each champions, you know, fall in. And you can go for more tips and so on. You can submit your own tips. People will vote for them. This one, for example, was voted. It's already 3 years old, but I mean, it's as simple as that. It may sound very trivial, but when Xin enters his counter stance, stop attacking him immediately. Or if you play an area damage champion, try to aim for his back or sides. I mean, that's still up. That still works. That's really good. That's really good. So there you go. There's a good tip for you against Xin. But again, coming to this website, it'll be a lot easier than trying to get the loadouts in game. All right, you can still do it in game. Nothing's forbidding you from doing it. But you know, like for example, me on this match specifically, I think I was using a loadout that I would not advise you to do because it had the old charge on the combat trends, but then I would only have the heals on the combat trends, reduce cooldown of my jump, and then there was nothing to reduce the cooldown of my combat trends with the sword. That would be a better loadout, see? So I ended up doing good here, but not because the loadout was good, but because my team played nice, and the enemies weren't that strong. So there you go. It doesn't mean that every loadout has to work every single time. With time, you'll learn, okay? So watch out for that. Don't try to import all the loadouts you see from in-game. It's not gonna work. Also, one final little tip, please, 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 name your loadouts, okay? Like, there's a lot of things that I do sometimes that I do a new loadout and I don't even change the titles, okay? So don't be that guy. Just change the titles of the loadouts every time you create a loadout, so you are aware. And imagine you stop playing for a couple of months, when you come back, you see the title and you're like, oh yeah, that's why this was for. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it. I did a 10-minute video, could have made it shorter, but like, I swear to God, I tried to record this multiple times and I end up just talking too much. I'll be coming up with more videos in the future. Feel free to go down in the comments below and let me know what you want to see. Like, do you want a video about items? Do you want a video about what's best for Haven and what's best for Blast Shields? Do you want a video about diminishing returns? Whatever, I will try to gather the information and we'll come up with these videos in the future. Also, I'll be doing some lore videos and etc. and maybe some gameplays. I want to fill up a little bit of content on the channel so you guys have some stuff to see, whether you're new or already experienced player in the game or not. And I'm also streaming a little bit more now. I'm going to be streaming in these next few days a little bit more on my Twitch channel, Kreepers YT, simple to find. If you don't find it, go down in the description below. There'll be a link tree. Inside of that link tree, you'll find all of my stuff, like my YouTube, my Twitch, my Instagram, my Discord. You'll find everything in there. I also have my TikTok there. Yeah, it seems cringe, but trust me, I don't do no cringe stuff there. It's only just clips from the streams. The best clips will go there. That's pretty much it, okay? That's pretty much it for this video as well. So thank you so much for watching. That'll be it for today. I'll see you guys next time. And don't forget, go down in the comments below. Let me know what you want to see in the future videos. And I hope I helped you. Bye-bye. Have a good time and stay safe.